Hey everybody, it's Joe Jonas hanging with Jag.
Hi, this is Carly Rae Jepsen, and you're listening to Jag.
Ryan Seacrest with Jag.
It's B.O.B. So much swag with my homie Jag.
And now, a look at this week in podcasting news. It's the Jag Show podcast.
Welcome in, I am John Gay. We start with a great point from Amplify Media's Steve Goldstein. Watch any episode of Wheel of Fortune and the game starts within the first 45 seconds of the show. Take that approach to your podcast. Lose excessively long intros and endless banter, hit the ground running. I'll try to do that here. I think we're less than 45 seconds. Apple Podcasts released their subscriptions and channels on Tuesday. Channels might be good for you to aggregate content with, but I'm still not sold on subscriptions. As I've said before, if you're asking somebody to spend money every month on top of Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, etc., you better A, have some killer content, and B, it better not be available anywhere else. Got to be exclusive. Meanwhile, Apple's latest iOS update has a totally revamped Apple Podcasts app. Personally, I hate it. I find it hard to navigate. But then again, this is what we said whenever Facebook changed their layout. So I'm going to give it a little while, but I am strongly considering moving to Spotify for my podcast listening. Incidentally, that's what Tommy Vitor, one of the hosts of Pod Save America, suggested on Monday via Twitter. Seemed their latest episode uploaded, but wasn't showing up on Apple right away. But it was right there on Spotify. So when you've got a host of a top 10 podcast actively encouraging you to move over from Apple to Spotify, well, Cupertino, we have a problem. Speaking of Spotify, they are continuing to spend like a drunken sailor on podcasting. It does seem to be working for them, though. They did just lure the popular Call Her Daddy podcast away from Barstool Sports. Like Joe Rogan, Call Her Daddy is going to be a Spotify exclusive. Spotify's price tag for this? $20 million. The show moves to Spotify only on July 21st. Big changes coming to Spotify's Anchor platform. One of the knocks on it was that they auto-submitted your show to Apple, and it was hard to claim ownership of your show there. Now, Anchor is going to allow you to submit to Apple yourself. Also, as podcast monetization grows, they are only going to supply you with an open RSS feed for all apps to pull from if you ask for it. It's going to be beneficial to those who only want their shows in specific places, but I still say, unless you're trying to monetize your show, get that RSS feed, get your podcast in as many places as possible so you can get in front of as many ears as possible. The post from Anchor is on medium.com and linked in today's show notes. If you use the Riverside platform to record your audio or your video podcast, they've added a media board. It's going to let you play sound and video clips as you record your show. The idea is that in doing so, you're not going to have to add them in later while you're editing. Other quick hit podcasting news this week, the award-winning Ear Hustle about life behind bars in San Quentin. That is being released as a book. Greed and hubris can ruin anything, including podcasts. The Verge has an expose about California's podcast hype house that Chinese-based company Ximalaya created to lure podcasts in, and it quickly devolved into a frat house and actually much worse. That is linked in today's show notes as well. Podcast movement coming together for Nashville the first week in August. If you're going to be there, I hope to see you there. There's actually a contest to get a VIP tour of the nearby Jack Daniels distillery. I've done that tour, and it's awesome, by the way. Link is a Google Doc linked from today's show notes if you want to check that out. And finally, I tell my podcast clients not to promote yourself until the end of your show after you provided valuable information, which I hope I've done here. So with that in mind, if you'll indulge me, I am now offering a new service, a comprehensive podcast audit of your show. Send me one episode, up to an hour long, and I will evaluate it for accessibility, audio quality, content, flow, and more. That is only $99, one-time fee. If you're interested, you can drop me a note, jag@jagindetroit.com. Until next time, stay healthy and stay safe. Later.
If you like what you just heard, share The Jag Show with someone else who's interested in podcasts. You can also follow The Jag Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit jagindetroit.com.